This is not a paid advertisement. What's going on, everybody? I'm Eating Things, and you're watching Less Than Rhetorical. Today, we're talking about every single operator in the game of Rainbow Six Siege. We're talking about what their abilities are, what situations they thrive in, what situations they don't do so well in, and then should you play them? And this is mainly a video for those who are brand new to the game of Rainbow Six Siege, or maybe a returning player who needs some information on the final operators that they haven't seen in a while. So if you're new to the game and you're watching this video, then this is for you. This is good for you. So we're going to start with the attackers, and then we'll go to the defenders. And we'll just kind of walk through this here. So actually, you know what? Let's start with the defenders and then go to the attackers. I think that's more fun. We're going to start with Smoke. So Smoke is a classic operator. In fact, let's just talk about this top row here. If you haven't played the game before or you're brand new to the game, this top row of operators here are mainly from year one. In fact, all of them are from year one. This is the year one row. So you've got Mute, Smoke and Mute, Castle and Pulse, Doc and Rook. And if you notice, these were SAS operators. These were FBI operators. These were GIGN operators, and so on. I'm not going to call them all out. And that's the layout here. So you've got like year one operators. So when people talk about year one operators, they mean this top row. And really, if I picked nothing but just these top row operators, I could win with a team of 5 of these top row operators in Siege on a regular basis. And that goes for both defending and attacking. You've got everything you need for the game in the top row. But what fun would that be? We've got so much more to the game, and there's so much more you can do. And you may be sitting there as a new player going, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to pick. I don't know when to pick. So if you are overwhelmed, start with picking an operator on this top row and stick with that for a little while. Get to know that operator. And a great one to pick is Smoke. He is good in almost every single lobby. So Smoke has the ability to chuck a toxic grenade gas at your attackers. It holds them off for a period of time, allowing you to either reposition, slow down a push. His classic loadout, which everybody picks, is the shotgun SMG-11. The SMG-11 is tough to use. There's only 16 bullets in it. Its fire rate is super quick. And the kick, as you can see the recoil pattern on the bottom right of my screen, is pretty high. So you might not feel super comfortable with the SMG-11, but trust me, get into a bunch of arcade matches and use it and get comfortable with this gun because it is a killing machine. Once you get used to the recoil, this gun will get you way more kills than you would ever think. The shotgun is a beast. It's a classic shotgun. Fantastic gun. Yeah, it's just a really good. I don't know. It's great for making rotates. You can make a rotate in 4 shots. You can make a rotate in 3 shots with it, but it's great for making rotates. It's fantastic for pumping people at some distance. I mean, it's got some range, but I wouldn't get too freaky with the distance, trying to kill people at distance. Use the SMG-11 and just don't get into fights with people with distance. So that's where Smoke thrives, is in those close quarter fights. Like if I'm just around the corner, I'm in sight, I'm in the room right next to sight, I'm really close to the enemy, they have to push through me to get to sight, I'm going to thrive because I can smoke them off. I can take gunfights, pot shots at them with the SMG-11 and really take some damage to them, or I could just swing him with a shotgun and kill him. So he's really good for those effects. He brings beepers as well, so absolutely a great operator to pick to get to know. Mute is another operator with the exact same loadout as Smoke, but he's a little slower. He's only he's a 3-speed operator instead of a 2-speed operator like Smoke. Does bring a nitro cell to throw at people and blow them up, or to kill people from below. Remember, in Siege, the floors can be soft as well. And so you can put a nitro cell from below and blow people up. And he's got this utility of mute jammers, which prevents people from driving drones into the area. It also prevents gadgets in the area from going off, like a thermite exocharge on a wall. He's absolutely another beast of an operator and a great pick for pretty much any site. I would use him less for wall denial and more for drone denial and information denial, denying the attackers the information to get into the site. Okay, Castle is a high skill operator. You might not think it, because his utility is just a barricade that you can barricade the door with, and people can't shoot through that barricade. They have to either hit it 9 times to open it. I think it's still 9. I might have to double check that. Or they have to put a breach charge on it, or an ash charge. Zofia can knock them out too. Sledge can hammer through them, but they have to do something to break down the castle wall, and that's a waste of their utility. Maybe they waste a grenade on it, and that's one less grenade you have to worry about. The problem with Castle is not his ability and how simple it is. The problem is how complex the maps are in Siege, that a new player with Castle might think, what I need to do is wall off the site. That is not the way to play Castle. In fact, it will guarantee your team, in most situations, loses the game. Because either your roamers can't rotate back to site, or, worst case scenario, you give up all of the map control to the attackers, and they can surround you and take their time planning their attack, and then eventually just destroy all your castle barricades, walk in, and kill everyone, because everyone's stuck in sight and they can hit you from multiple different angles, especially if they've got breach charges and they can open up the walls and you're just sitting ducks. So Castle is a high skill operator. He's better on the roam when you use your castle barricades to protect your flank, but not an operator I would start out playing if I was playing Siege as a newcomer to the game. Maybe if you're in a 5-stack and you can work out your strategies with your castle barricades, then that's okay. Or maybe after you really know a specific map, and it's like, you know the way attackers push, you know the various different angles on that map, you know what walls to open up on that map to get better angles. Okay, maybe then you could use castle barricades to create new spaces of play for you on that map. But a great roamer. He is not a bad anchor either. Pulse. Such a good operator. He gives you information on his cardiac sensor that detects heartbeats at a short distance. So he can see where the operators are. So he's great on sites that are above, because he has a C4. He can go below, scan operators, wait until they are not moving. Then chuck the C4 up, blow the C4. Make sure you don't blow yourself up in the process. Great operator. His guns are a little weak. They're the same guns as Castle. So if you look at Castle's loadout, he's got the UMP 45 and a secondary shotgun. Pulse has the UMP 45, no secondary shotgun. So, I mean, you probably could run the shotgun with Pulse. It's not a bad idea, but the UMP 45 is also a great weapon to use. The shotgun's great too. So, up to you, but always run the nitro cell. That's what he's there for. Nitro people from below. It's a free kill. Doc is an excellent operator, especially for someone who's new to the game or for someone who is high skilled at the game. Doc brings to the table a pistol stim pistol that allows you to heal your teammates. Up at the top of your screen, you can see the health bar of each teammate. And if one is low or red, you can go find that teammate and shoot a pistol at them. Make sure you don't shoot them with your actual pistol. Fail. Done that. Not a great idea. Shoot them with your Doc Stim pistol using your utility with, your right bumper on your joystick. And Doc will fully heal them up to 100% health. I mean, think how useful that is. But at higher levels, I will say this, a lot of people get better gun skill. They hit people in the head more frequently. When that happens, Doc is less useful. Health operators in general are less useful. Still, he's a really good operator. And his gun, the MP5 or the P90, either one of those two guns, phenomenal. Make sure to bring the Bailiff 410 because you can create lines of sight in the sight at the direction of your team if you don't know the maps. But you can start to create lines of sight which give you the ability to then manipulate the map to your advantage and create ghost pressure as well when you're on the roam if you choose to roam. He is a slow operator, but if you play the MP5 and put the horizontal grip on it, it increases his speed. He's pretty good. Rook is similar to Doc, but not nearly as good. A lot of new players think Rook is a great player to start off with. He is. He's not bad. He gives your entire team Rook armor, which if you play him right, you should be putting this Rook armor down immediately at the start of prep phase, giving your team time to come get that Rook armor before they go do their setup. But it does take a little bit of time away from their setup for them to do that. The other thing about Rook is, in a game that's a one-shot headshot game, you get hit in the head and you don't get a chance to use the Rook armor. Because what the Rook armor does, gives you the ability to self-revive yourself if you're downed. In most cases, when you get knocked down in this game, somebody's going to shoot you. So he can win a round for you, and that's why people play him so much. They play him so much because, oh, he won this round for me, and without him, we wouldn't have won, so I'm going to play him every single round. But they don't think about what they're missing by playing Rook every single round. So there are times in which, yes, Rook is a great operator, especially if you don't know who to pick for the site and you don't know what to do for the setup. He's a great operator to pick to be able to support your team. You can then go on the roam because he's got impact grenades, and he can roam around the map and open up new lines of sight. And best part, Rook has, a magnified sight on his gun, so gives you a little more distance that you can play with him on too. Let's go ahead and add that laser on this so we can get a little faster ADS time. Okay. Kapkan. I love Kapkan. If you are a new player to Siege, play Kapkan. Great operator to play. Will help you get so many more kills, and it'll help you stay in the fight. Even when you're dead, your Kapkan traps are working for you because they can blow people up when they walk through or jump through a barricade or walk through a door. The traps, you usually want to center them like low on the door if you're a newer player. Get them as low as possible. And a higher skill, sometimes you can start to play around with putting them up high and people don't see them and they walk right through them. But if you put them low on the door, they're going to hit them. People just don't check for them. So it's a great operator to play. I never fear Kapkan because I always look for Kapkan traps. But occasionally I do hit them too. Everybody hits him. He's a really good operator. And his gun is a good gun to play. Don't play the shotgun. Play the 9x19 VSN. It's a great gun. Same gun. Where are we at? Where's Kapkan? Where's my Kapkan? There's my Kapkan. It's the same gun that Azami has. Let's talk about Azami for a quick second. I know I'm deviating from the year one operators, but Azami has the exact same gun as Kapkan, um, allowing her to play some of the same sites, same areas maybe that you might play with Kapkan. Take some of the same gunfights as Kapkan, and she's also got impact EMPs to be able to roam with. Although Kapkan, I'm going to back up to Kapkan. We'll get back to Azami later. Kapkan brings not impact EMPs, but he brings a C4. So C4 is very useful. Kapkan is a great combo with Valk. Valk and Kapkan together, very good combo because they can both play below, and you've got two C4s to be able to help with. Great guns to roam with. Good operator utility to tell you where people are coming from. Great information for the whole team. There's two strategies with Kapkan. One, put the Kapkan traps all around on the back side of where you are. So if I'm facing this way, my Kapkan traps are behind me. Because that gives me information that when my Kapkan trap blows up and I hear it, I need to turn around and watch my flank. That's a great strategy. The second great strategy is find common entry areas where attackers always push through and put your Kapkan traps hidden there. Then when they push through, they're going to hit those Kapkan traps and you're going to get a kill. And you can put like 2 and 3 in a door and guarantee yourself at least one kill from that placement. I've used him both ways. I like him both ways. I love that he can cover my back and I can put traps all the way around me and feel that I'm safe playing in a strategic area. I don't even know what to say. Just don't play Tachanka. All right, let me explain. Tachanka's great if you know how to play him. He has the same gun as Kapkan, but don't play that gun. Because, let me change the sight on this gun. I think I could probably play that horizontal grip. Can I? Let me see. Is he a 2-speed? He's a 1-speed. Yeah, I could play that horizontal grip and get away from it. Get away with it. Don't play that gun. This is his gun, the Signature 621. Oh wait, no, that's just the cosmetic. What's this done? It's the DP27. 60 damage, 2-shot kill guarantee, 550 fire rate, very slow fire rate comparatively, but a 2-shot kill, hardly any recoil. Great gun to play, and it's got a 70-round magazine. You can just sit there and just mow them down. The problem with Kapkan is not his weapons, it's his utility. He's got a great secondary gun, the Bearing 9 that you can pull out, and you've got 111, 1,100 fire rate, and it's a headshot machine. It got a little bit of recoil, as you can see the recoil pattern is kind of off the charts. A little bit of recoil, but in a pinch for your secondary weapon, much better than a pistol. His utility is his problem. The Shimika launcher. It fires 7 seconds of flaming fire in a specific area. So you can bounce these little grenades off of the walls, bounce them off of staircases. They'll ignite and expand over a little area of about 5 to 10 meters, I don't know. And in that area, there will be flames for 7 seconds. Here's the problem. An attacker can walk right through the flames. Sure, they'll take damage, but they can walk through the flames. So, because he can't totally deny an area, because somebody can run through the flames, he's not that great. And if you pulled out your Shemeika launcher, you have to put your gun away to pull out your Shemeika launcher. And so you fire the Shemeika launcher and you're vulnerable. While you're firing it, an attacker can run right through the flames and shoot you in the head, and you have no way to defend yourself. And that's his big weakness. That's also the way you kill Tachanka. If you feel afraid of the flames, run through them. Now, there is another operator, Goyo, who also has a canister that he can place on walls, windows, and doors and floors. And when you shoot the red part of that canister, it ignites the whole area with flames and denies that area. Don't try to walk through that one. Goyo canisters will kill you. They have a much more powerful flame than Tachanka's launcher. Much more powerful. So don't do that. So, Tachanka, I wouldn't play him. Unless you're just going to stick to his gun, in which case you've got an operator without utility. So, I wouldn't play him. Jaeger, classic operator. Kind of not in the meta right now. Jaeger's big utility is that he can stop grenades and flashbangs that are thrown into an area. He gets 3 of these active defense gadgets. They can stop 1 apiece every 10 seconds for as long as they are on the map. It's good. His gun's all right. It's a medium range gun, a little bit of recoil. His shotgun's even better. That's a fantastic shotgun. But, I mean, if you're starting out, he's a great operator to start out with. He's just not really in the meta right now. Bandit. Absolutely, 100% recommend you play Bandit if you're starting out in Siege. Bandit is an operator who can electrify reinforced walls and barbed wire. He does this by setting down his batteries. And the batteries are, you can actually put more than one down on a wall at a time. So you could put one down, and if Thatcher, who's an attacker, throws an EMP grenade, that will disable those batteries. But as Bandit, you can put another battery down after the EMP has gone out, and that's what's called Bandit tricking. It prevents anyone from being able to put a hard breach on the other side of that reinforced wall, because it will electrify that hard breach and blow it up. So you can Bandit trick with Bandit. Once you get to learn how to Bandit trick, oh man, he's a great operator. Really good gun. It's a headshot machine. EMP7, not a lot of recoil. I highly recommend going with the C4, but you can bring the barbed wire on certain sites. And our last top row operator was the first operator that you had to pay for in the game, which is Frost. All these other operators, I say pay for. Let me correct that. The first operator you had to, it was the first operator that cost 25,000 renown instead, or 2,500, 25,000. It's 25,000. 25,000 renown, as opposed to these were all relatively cheap. But Frost, Valkyrie, Buck, and Blackbeard all came out together in the Black Ice. Actually, Frost and Buck came out together in Black Ice season. And then Valkyrie and Blackbeard came out together. So Frost is an incredible operator. She can lay down a frost mat, which if you jump into a window or run up a staircase, those are the most common places to put them. You hit that frost mat, and as an attacker, you if you get yourself up, you're slowed and you leave a blood trail and people can track you. It's really rough as an attacker. The good part about her is the information that she gives you of where people are coming from. You can put those frost mats on windows, turn your back to the window as long as you're not exposed to someone shooting you through the window. And as soon as they hop in the window, they hit that frost mat, or they have to look down and shoot the frost mat, and you'll hear either one of those flip around behind you and be able to kill them before they can reset and shoot you. Great operator. Highly underrated. You would think that people would just be able to drone that out and then jump in and shoot it, but even if they jump in and shoot it, it's still sound cues for you that, oh, they've come in that window. Good operator for information, and she can do a little bit of damage. Highly recommend playing Frost. I play her all the time. If you're watching my streams, if you're watching this on YouTube, come watch me on Twitch. See my streams. I play Frost all the time. I love the magnified A with her, the extended barrel, laser sight, and the horizontal grip. It's a great way to run. Run this gun. Don't ever run her shotgun because she has a secondary shotgun. You don't need it. These two items are useless. And then bring the shield. I mean, you can bring the bulletproof in certain situations, but bring the shield. Frost mats are also really good under hatches, and they're also really good like on the side of doors, like where people would walk in and then move to the side. They never check. So, really good operator. All right. The second row. Goodness. Man, I've been talking for a while. How long have we been on here? 26 minutes. 26 minutes. I've only gone through one row. We're going to speed this up. Valkyrie can deploy cameras. Those cameras are little and hard to see. If you throw the cameras next to lights, they're even harder to see. Great gun, C4, 100% pick Valkyrie. Cav, much higher skill operator than Valkyrie. Her whole utility depends on her ability to hide. Hide from attackers in positions where she won't get droned out, no rat spots on the map, but be in the right place to make a play on a single attacker or maybe two attackers at the same time and get an interrogation. That reveals everybody on the attacking team to your defending players. If Cav gets an interrogation, it often means the end of the round. Echo is a great operator if you like to drone other people around. And he's great in a 5-stack. He's not very good as a solo queue operator because you're often on your drone with Echo when you need to be up with a gun. Echo has 2 of these yokai drones. These drones can drive around the map just like any other drone, but they can also elevate to the ceiling and stun people with a sonic blast. So he's good for that. I would play Echo. He's got a good shotgun and a good primary weapon. Good secondary too. Mira is almost a must pick on certain maps and certain sites. She brings a black mirror that she can look through, but it's a one-way mirror. So the other direction, they can't see through it, and it's bulletproof. Great for setups where you can reinforce one wall, put a mirror there, and leave the other wall soft, shoot through the other wall, and then stay behind the mirror. Highly recommend her. Good guns, too. Lesion, great gun, great utility. Almost what more is there to say? The goo mine that Lesion has allows him to throw these goo mines behind him or in areas where he thinks attackers are going to be coming from to give him sound cue information, and it stings the attacker and makes them unable to, they take damage. They have to stop and remove the thorn out of them in order to continue. Ella, and by the way, Lesion is a fantastic solo queue operator. You should play Lesion. Ella, she's kind of fallen out of the meta. She's not got the best of guns. The recoil's very high on her guns. But but she's not got the worst. She's got a really good utility that gives you information about where someone's coming from and kind of stuns their vision for a second. And it's easy because you can just chuck it somewhere and then run away. And then you can hear that sound later. It goes boom. And you're like, oh, someone's coming from this area. But it doesn't do any damage. She's just a weaker version of Lesion, in my opinion. So you might as well run Lesion. I mean, someone out there is going to argue with me and say Ella's better, but I don't think anyone. Lesion has a secondary shotgun. Ella doesn't. Okay? That's why you run Lesion. Okay? And he's got impact grenades. So the amount of versatility you can have with him, it's unmatched. He might be one of the best defenders in the game right now. Vigil has the ability to cloak himself from the attacker's drones. It means that the drone cannot see you. It just sees white bars on the screen, indicating that a Vigil player is near you. It's useful. But he's not played as much as you would think he should be. And he doesn't bring any other utility to the team. His utility is very selfish for himself. So you've really got to have a good gun skill to play Vigil and to make something out of it. Because if you bring Vigil and you're on my team, I expect you to get at least 2 kills. You better. Because getting 1 kill and dying with Vigil did not bring any value to the team. Because you didn't help any of the rest of us get our kills. So you were totally selfish and you only got 1 kill. If you can get 2 kills every single round with Vigil, play Vigil. Maestro gives you 3 bulletproof cameras that can be destroyed by either meleeing them, hitting them with an ash charge, or by chucking a grenade near them. The bulletproof cameras allow everyone on your team to look around in the area that the Maestro puts his cam in, but Maestro can get on the cameras, open them up, and shoot people with them. They're great for around sight. He's really slow. For that reason, I don't play Maestro very much. His guns, I probably should do this with the horizontal grip and try playing his 80-round gun. The sights are not the best. I don't know. I'm just not a huge Maestro fan. He is good. But the problem is that in solo queue, you're always on your Maestro cams. Now, he could be good if you're helping out your team. If you place him right around the site, you could give a lot of information to the rest of your teammates. And then those teammates could be able to capitalize on that information. In a team, in a 5-stack, he's great. His shotgun is really good as well. Let's put the magnified scope on there. But my problem with Maestro is in a solo queue environment, he's not very good. He has good guns, but you're often not on those guns because you're trying to watch your cameras, and that usually leaves you in positions where your team just needs another gunner. So I don't like him for solo queue, but he's great in a 5-stack. Alibi used to be really meta, but she's not so much anymore. She has these prismas. They are deployable holograms of herself. If you run Alibi, do not run another skin with Alibi except her original skin that I've got right here, her default skin, or the sophisticated elite skin. Those are the only 2 skins that the holograms imitate. If you run another skin and people see you, they'll know you're not a hologram and they'll shoot you. The benefit of having an Alibi on the board is that people will hesitate before they shoot the Alibi, because when they shoot one of these prismas, it pings their position, revealing where they're at. which takes away the advantage of their attack. Tell you what, guys, this is a tough video. It's a long one. It needs to happen, though. Someone needs to do this. Put these prismas under windows. Then when attackers jump in, they have to do the same thing they have to do with a frost mat. Look down and shoot the prisma. But they also get pinged if they touch the prisma. So it'll reveal their position. It's just information for you immediately. They get pinged too when they drone through the prisma. Tells you where they're droning from. They're great for sites with windows. Back now that I think about it, I should play Alibi more. Oh, I remember why I don't. Her recoil pattern is so out of control. It's weird. Like, it bounces all over the place. I guess maybe the compensator would help. But then you have to pull down a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know. Her gun's just really weird. The shotgun's better, but this shotgun has a lot of kick to it as well. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I like playing it when I play it, but I don't know. Her guns are mid. All right, let's talk about Clash. Clash comes with this giant shield. You can deploy the shield and you can pull your trigger button and electrify people with your shield. That allows you to slow people down. It doesn't kill them, but it takes a little bit of damage away from them constantly, enough to make them panic about there being a clash on the board. That's usually what wins you the round, when the other team panics. I would probably bring her SPS MG9. It's the only gun of these three that I would trust to get consistent like kills with. Like, I feel like I could take gunfights with attackers at range with that gun if needed. Doesn't have a lot of recoil. And then I bring, personally, impacts, but sometimes in certain team setups, you'll want the shield. And she is good for that. So, I bring Clash in situations where the other team is rushing and they're coming all from one direction. A single Clash player and one person behind her can stop an entire 5-man push from that direction and hold everybody off, clog them into one area, and just slow them down until the end of the round because they're trying to clear that Clash player the whole time. So she can waste a lot of time and really slow down rushes and give your team a chance to adjust. Cade is a must pick. Cade is an operator that, Kaid. Kaid is a must pick. Kaid is an operator that if he's on the board, someone should be playing Kaid. In almost every site, there is a wall that needs to be electrified to stay closed to prevent the attackers from gaining lines of sight that would prevent you from rotating in the site and therefore make it difficult for you as a defender to win the round. Kaid prevents that from happening. He can throw his electric claws above the wall, below the wall, as long as the circle that appears when you're throwing the electric claw touches a piece of the wall, it will electrify that wall. And you can get creative. You could throw one on the left and one on the right of the wall, and then anybody who's throwing an impact EMP to disable gadgets that throws it down in the middle of the wall won't be able to hit those two on the right and left if they're high up. They'll have to choose which side of the wall they're going to get, and they'll have to drone it, figure out where the Cade Claw is. Cade's fantastic. Good guns. If you're new to the game, I'd bring the AUG A3. It's just a headshot machine. I mean, It's only got 700 fire rate, which isn't super high, but it does 40 damage, so it's really good. As you get better, you may enjoy using the TCSG 12 shotgun. This shotgun shreds. 2-shot kill to the body. You don't have to hit headshots. Just hit him twice in the body. Really good. Always bring his C4. Get black ice. And it's up to you which one of these pistols you run. But personally, I prefer the LFP 589 or 586. Really good operator to play and fun. He's a little slow, so just get used to anchoring if you're Cade. And that's probably where you need to be anyway, is anchoring. Oh, what's the difference between anchoring and roaming? Put it in the comments if you know. All right, Mozzie. We're going to talk about Mozzie. Mozzie is a operator that denies information. So he can put 3 Mozzie pests out. The pests will take over a attacker's drone and give you the ability to drive that drone. He's got 2 great guns. I've got nothing bad to say against Mozzie. You could bring him on every site and he'd be useful. So he's really a good operator, especially against teams that are methodical and drone a lot. That's where Mozzie's going to bring the most value. Against teams that rush and run in, like in lower ranks, Mozzie may not be the best pick, but he does have a C4, so you could kill him from below, and they might be like, what? How did they do that? So, Warden has the ability to put on some glasses so that when the attackers throw a smoke grenade, Warden can see through it. If they throw a flashbang, it doesn't affect Warden. If Blitz runs in with a shield and flashes you, doesn't affect Warden. So he's a good Blitz counter. Blitz is probably the best person that he counters. If the other team just has a really good Blitz player, play Warden. Warden is good in certain situations, but not good on every map and not good in every situation. His guns are all right. It'd be better if he had a longer range scope, but he doesn't. And it's the same gun that Valkyrie has. So it's all right. This gun has a lot of recoil. You may even not want to run it, especially if you're relatively new to the game. So yeah, there's my Warden pick. And that's a cool uniform. Just admire that. It's so great. Goyo. All right, so Goyo is an operator that has the ability to slow down attackers who are trying to push through a single area, or you can put these Goyo canisters around on walls, on windows, on barricaded doors, and you shoot them, and when you shoot them, they explode. If the attacker breaks down the window and breaks the Goyo canister because the window burst, the canister explodes, and it explodes fire in a radius of about 20 meters. And this lasts, or maybe it's not 20 meters, maybe it's 10. This fire lasts for 20 seconds. It's so long. If you stack these up on a single door, you could hold someone off for like, let's see, 20, 40, 60, 80. You could hold someone off for almost a minute and a half at a single door. There's no way an attacker is going to push that door because they won't be able to come through. So they're going to rotate around. So by having Goyo on the map, he can slow down pushes that are rushes, but he's even better after people have gained map control. Teams that are methodical, who've like droned around and cleared the roamers and everything, if they get to the map or they get to the site, there's a minute left, and then you're stuck with Goyo canisters, cutting off your time. That's when he's really OP. He is a great operator to play, but he takes a lot of skill to play because you have to know where the attackers are going to come from so you can put the Goyo canisters in those spots. Same gun as Cade, same gun as Mira. Kaid, sorry. Wamai is great. He is Jaeger 2.0, and he is very meta right now. So Wamai gives you discs that you can throw, and they stick to walls, to furniture, to gadgets, they stick to anything. When an attacker throws a gadget or a EMP or a flashbang or a grenade in the area of the disc, it snatches it up and disintegrates it, but it also kills the disc in the process. So it's not like Jaeger where it recharges every 10 seconds and can just keep going. Wamai is a one and done. But you get like a lot more of these discs throughout the round. They're on a timer, so you don't get them all at once. That's the downside. I personally love Wamai. I play him all the time. MP5K is my weapon of choice for him. With the magnified scope, I do love this secondary weapon because you can make little lines of sight in walls through it, and then bring the impacts and you can blow holes and stuff. And he's a good roamer, very good roamer, but he's also a good anchor. He's a very versatile operator, and he can really help you out with his utility. It can be a selfish utility, or it can help out, like prevent people from throwing grenades at Mira and breaking her Mira with ash charges. So Oryx is a shield denial operator. His whole utility is meant to dash at people, knock a shield player over, and then he can shoot the shield player once the shield player's on the ground. That's his whole utility. He's shield denial. He's also able to run around the map faster than everybody else because he can dash with his utility. It just makes him super fast for a short period of time. That's all it does. It's just like he ran really fast. That's it. And done. He can also jump up hatches. He's the only defender in the game that can do that. So when you see an Oryx, know if there's a hatch that's open behind you, he can pop up from below and come up and get you. Good guns, too. Melusi has this Banshee. It's a sonic defense. You put it into an area, and it's sort of like your secondary gadget, which is like when you have an operator with a secondary gadget that's a beeper that you can throw into an area, and then when an attacker comes into the range of that beeper, it beeps. The Banshee makes noise when the attacker comes into the range, but it also slows the attacker down, making it so they can't run, they can only walk, and they have to walk at basically the speed that they would walk at if they were crouched. The Banshee itself is loud, and it's just annoying from a sound perspective for the attacker. The attacker can't tell what's going on. It's disorienting. So it's absolutely great. You get 3 of these. As a defender, she's really, really good. Her biggest counter is Brava. We'll talk about Brava later. Okay, Aruni, another one who's countered by Brava, can put up 3 Aruni gates. These gates go in between doorways, preventing people from walking through the door without taking 40 damage. Maybe it's 60 damage. I can't remember. They take damage from the gates. You can destroy them by just throwing a drone through them, or throwing a grenade I wouldn't throw a grenade through them, but throw a drone through them, throw a flashbang through them, throw an impact EMP around them, and it'll destroy them from that standpoint. Thatcher's a good counter to her. By the way, Thatcher is the only consistent counter to Cade as well. So Aruni's good. She's got a couple of really good guns. I'll let you figure your way out with her guns, but you should definitely play her. Play her and try her out for a little while. Don't play Thunderbird. Okay? If you're going to play Thunderbird, where are we? If you're going to play Thunderbird, play Doc. Doc's better. Doc's meta. Thunderbird's not. don't play Thunderbird. So Thunderbird brings okay guns. Neither one of these guns are great. Personally, I think she's better with the shotgun SMG combo, the shotgun bearing 9 combo. That way you've got the ability to make rotates and lines of sight, and you've got a SMG, but also a shotgun. But this bearing 9 is really tough to control. Her secondary gadgets aren't even good. I don't know, her shield, I mean, I guess bring the shield, but I mean, so her whole ability is to put up these health stations that when you come in range of them, either attacker or defender or attacker rather, you get immediately charged up a little bit with health. It's not a full charge like Doc, so she's kind of meh. Thorn is an operator that's really good. Her utility is easy to use. It's a throw it and forget about it utility. Don't try to get kills with the utility. It does when you throw it, it sticks to surfaces. And when somebody walks into the vicinity, if they stand there, it will blow up and kill them. But most people either run past it or back up and it blows up and they still live and then they can push forward. It's not going to get you a lot of kills. There may be some strats where you could set 3 of them in a single area and pick up a kill off of that, which is great. I mean, you can say, I got my frag. I did my job. Because if everybody on the team gets 1 kill, then you win the round. So anyway, it's not the greatest utility, but it gives you information in 3 different areas if you spread them out. And that's what makes her valuable. She can give you the same information you can get from, say, Melusi or even a Rooney, knowing that someone is in an area, and she's also got the potential to kill people at the same time. She's got 2 good guns. Her primary weapon or her shotgun, either one are fantastic. The UZK 50 GI is a straight shooting machine. I play it with the extended barrel. Throw a laser sight on that thing. You don't really need the vertical grip as I think about it, but it gives me a little bit more control with it. Horizontal grip's fine. You don't have any better sight than just a 1.5 sight. A 1.0 sight. So it's up to you what sight you run, but really good gun. Really good gun. Couple of shots to the body and people are going down. It's strong. But only a 22 round clip. Mag, that is. Only a 22 round mag. So, got to weigh it. Decide whether it's good or not. Back to Azami. We've talked about Azami's guns. We didn't talk about this shotgun, which is an automatic shotgun that Kaid Azami and Maestro have. It's an automatic shotgun. You can put a magnified scope on it. But personally, I just love Kapkan's gun too much to play it. But her ability is fantastic. She has a Kiba barrier. The Kiba barrier allows you to throw a knife-like thing at a wall, at a piece of furniture, at a doorway at the top or side of the doorway, and it expands and makes a concrete wall that attackers either have to bust 3 times to break or shoot an entire mag and a half through it to get rid of it. Excuse me. She is almost a must pick on certain sites. She could be a great operator on any site. I think she's fantastic. I play her a lot, and there's certain strats that I love with her, but she's a high IQ player. You got to really know the map and know how to manipulate the map to your advantage using her, and you got to be inventive and experimental and creative. As a new player, I probably would let someone else play Azami until I saw how she could be played enough, saw how she could be played successfully. There's a lot of people who play Azami that don't play her successfully. And then once I saw how successful she could be played, then I would imitate some of those things. You can create pixel holes with Azami, or pixel peaks with Azami. You just can't do with other operators. She can really deny people from entering certain areas. She's really good. She's best as an anchor, though. But, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I say that, but, you know, higher skill players can use her as a roamer. In fact, I even do at certain areas where I would own a piece of map control and roam in that area and not let people have that map control by using Azami. So, great operator. Solus. Her ability gives you the ability to, all right, let me try that again. Her spec 10 IO electrosensor gives you the ability, it's the thing in her head. It gives you the ability to see drones and anything that's electronic on the attacking side. Now, why is this beneficial? Because if you can take away the attacker's information, like the drones or the Zero cameras that Zero will shoot in, the Argus cams, if you can take away the attacker's information, then they have to blind peek everything. And as a defender, you could be anywhere. But the attackers are only going to come from a few locations. And you know where they're coming from because you'll have the information. You saw where the drones came from. If a drone came from that way, probably an attacker is going to come from that direction, right? So that's the benefit of Solus. She can give you the information, and she can even see people that are on their phone, on the drone, looking for people. So she's really good. She needs a nerf, and she's probably going to get one this season. So look for that. Fenrir, another operator that is in need of a nerf, and probably the operator that you should ban. As a new player, Fenrir's going to be a little tough to play. Just like Solus, I would say Solus is a little tough to play as a new player. You could play her, but she's tough. Fenrir's a high skill operator because there's two things you got to be able to do well. One is anticipate where attackers are going to come from, placing your mines in areas where those attackers will not see them, but will still get hit by them. And the second thing that you have to do is you have to be able to adjust them, like recognize the push isn't coming from this direction, it's coming from over here. You know, well, if it's coming from over here, then I need that mine over there active to watch for the flank. And I need this mine over here active to watch for when they go to plant. And I need this mine over here active so that when they walk through here, I can get them. So I'm going to turn this one off and turn that one off, and I'm going to rotate over to here and here. That's tough for someone who's new to the game to know how to do. But that is how Fenrir is overpowered. Like, he is so good right now. And when an attacker walks into his mines, oh shoot, I didn't explain that, did I? Did I explain what this does? Yeah, I did. When the attacker, so you can like see the drone on your screen with Solus. With Fenrir, when the attacker walks into the proximity of your mine, their whole vision goes dark. So like they can only see very close to what's, you know, right in front of them. So everything else beyond them, they can't see. So I could be standing 10 meters away from the attacker, shoot them in the head, and they never even see me to be able to shoot back, even though I was right in front of them. That's the value of that mine. He is OP. The last defender on the list, to kind of conclude this whole list here, and that puts us at 1 hour, is Tubaru. better known as Tub, or I call him Tub-a-Dub-Dub. So Tub, or Tubby, I don't know, I have all sorts of names for Tubarão. Tub has a canister, a Zoto canister, it's a throwable canister. He can throw it against a wall. It expands on the wall, and or he can throw it against anything actually, and it freezes the area. If an attacker's in that area, you'll hear him go like that, like they're cold, so you can hear and know someone's close to you. If a thermite charge is in the process of going off and or a breach charge is going off on a wall, you can freeze it in place, giving Bandit or Kaid a chance to reset their Kaid claws, their Bandit batteries to destroy the charge once the Zoto canister finishes freezing. So Tubarão, very, very fun. Fun to play, but he actually takes a lot of high skill. To work with Bandit, you've got to not freeze the Bandit batteries, but only freeze the wall, which means you got to throw it at a weird spot where it just barely touches the wall. As a new player, I probably wouldn't play Tubarão. That's someone that you'd want to play after you get several hours in the game. So there you go, guys. That's every defending operator. Every defender in an hour we just went through, all of the things that they do. Now let's talk about the attackers. Oh man, I don't even want to do this. Shoo. It's a lot. It's a lot to go through. Tell you what, we got to pause for a second. We got to replenish the nourishment with these hickory nuts. What are these? Almonds. Hickory smoked flavored almonds. They are salty. And what are we drinking down here? I'll tell you. So I put lemon juice in water. Lemon water. Not lemonade. Lemon water. Healthy. Healthy for you. This is a healthy snack. I probably shouldn't be eating these at midnight at night. Okay. Let's do this. We're going to go through the attackers. All right. Again, you could play this first row and never have to play anybody below. And you will win games. But some of these players below are really, really good. I'm just going to call out a few. Okay. A few people that you just definitely need to play. Yana. Yeah. Ying. Ace. Can't find him. There he is. Thatcher. Monty. And Buck. Osa. All right, Osa's the last one. Those players are really, really good. There's a lot of other players that are good on the attacking side. So definitely, you know, there's a lot of things to enjoy. All right, let's start with Sledge. All right. Sledge gives you a hammer. It can break through soft surfaces, soft walls that aren't reinforced. It can break through barricades, and it can break through hatches, and it can break through floors, so it can break the floor, and then you could shoot people from above. He's also really good for breaking through castle barricades. He's a great castle counter. Play him. Thatcher, he's the only Cade counter. He's the best Cade counter. Kaid counter. Sorry. Bandit counters Bandit. He's really good at countering just any electrified utility of any kind from the defense. But his most traditional use is to get down the wall. So when I say the wall, I mean there is going to be on every site some wall that needs to be breached to give the attackers lines of sight to push the defenders into uncomfortable areas, allowing the attackers to gain the map control necessary to execute a plant. Thatcher helps make that possible by disabling the electronic devices that are protecting the wall. Thermite, I'm skipping Ash for a second. I'll come back to her. Thermite is the other person that can support in the role with Thatcher. Those two operators can support the push by breaching that wall together. Thermite has an exocharge that you can set on a wall. Don't do it if it's electrified or you'll lose your charge, but you can set it on a wall once Thatcher's put his EMP out and it's blown up. And you can blow the electrocharge, the exothermic charge, and it blows up a reinforced wall, blows a big hole in the wall. He's one of the better hard breachers, especially if you're in a 5-stack or, playing with friends. One of the things to know about Thatcher is that his EMP only lasts for a short period of time, like 7 or 8 seconds or something like that, 10 seconds, something like that. So it's not very long. So make sure that you don't throw it until Thermite is standing there ready to put his exo charge on. Ash. Ash can breach any surface that's a soft surface with her breaching round. She also carries breach charges, which are a secondary gadget on the attacking side, or claymores. Her best gun, in my opinion, is the R4C, but don't sleep on the G36C. That's a really good gun as well. Either one of those guns are great, but the breaching rounds can be used to destroy Maestro cams. They can be used to destroy Mira windows. They can also be used to rush into sight by hitting barbed wire or destroying a Rooney gates or just hitting a barricade and then running in past where a castle barricade was. Make sure you drone yourself in first before rushing in with Ash. It's a good way to die if you just run in without having any information about where you're going. Thermite's just a must pick. Thermite and Thatcher, I love Thermite and Thatcher on any team. Twitch. Twitch is kind of out of the meta right now. I mean, she's in meta a little bit, I guess. Mira's being played a lot, so Twitch can come in and shoot the... Miras have a little canister that can be broken at the bottom of them, and it drops the Mira. Don't do that as a defender, ever. There's maybe some rare occasions in which it's necessary, like if the other side of the glass is shattered and you want to create pressure on the attackers from pushing that direction, and you need more angles, and by breaking the Mira you can create those. You got to be really confident in your gun skill and your ability to swing people if you're doing that. As an attacker, having those Miras open just means that it's a fair fight now. Like, they can't see me, but I mean, it's not the situation where they can see me and I can't see them. Twitch makes that possible. I can drive my drone in there, get some information, shoot a Mira canister, blow it up. I can shoot the cams that are around, take them out, shoot the Valk cams, take them out, and then I'm safe. Like, I can even destroy the Go-Yo canisters, all in the first 30 seconds of the round. So that's the benefit of having someone like Twitch on your team. But the problem is a lot of the I guess she is in meta right now. She probably is. She's probably a good operator to pick. Her F2, ooh, the recoil's bad. Just gonna warn you, the recoil's bad. It goes, you have to pull down a lot on that gun. But if you can figure it out, it's a headshot machine, but there's only 25 bullets in it. Personally, I think that the DMR is slept on. This 417, it's 2 shots, you're dead. 2-shot kill. Just hit them twice in the body, they're gone. If you can get a headshot, great, but just hit them twice in the body, that'll do the trick. Twitch is a really good operator. Oh my goodness, Monty's amazing right now. Shields are fire. They are so great. So what you can do with Monty is you can sprint with your shield down. When you get close to an enemy, you can expand your shield, which protects you from bullets from one direction. As long as they don't get to your sides or behind you, you are safe. And anyone standing behind you can see through your shield and use you like a walking mirror wall. It's so great. They can peek out, shoot people, peek right back in, and they're safe. Monty's just so good. When you have your shield extended, you are vulnerable. Like you can't do anything but stand there and move around, of course, but you can't do anything to attack the defenders. You have to collapse your shield, and when you aim, it twists your shield sideways, exposing your head. So do you really want to expose your head? It's not the best way to go about it. So instead of aiming down sights and shooting your gun, get up close to people, melee them with your shield, knocking them down, and then aim down sights and shoot them. Or just melee them a couple of times until they eventually die. Those are some ways to use the shield. And you can get close ground on them quickly because they can't shoot you in the head very easily. Occasionally, I've been shot in the shoulder and one-tapped and dead. I think there's a glitch on the shield, but absolutely fun operator to play. It's probably one of my favorite operators to play right now. Just don't play Glaz. Don't play Glaz. Monty, play. Glaz, don't. He's a sniping operator. Everybody seems to sit outside with Glaz till the last 30 seconds of the round. What a waste. He's got a great gun, a really great secondary gun. He comes with frag grenades, which is a coveted item as an attacker. Don't play Glaz. It's not worth it because it's going to be too tempting for you to stand at a long distance and try to snipe people with your gun. And you'll miss, and it'll be bad, and it's just not worth it. So I'm not a big Glaz fan. I just don't think he's very good. There are strats that I would run with Glaz. Like if you can take a Maverick, for example, you can so let's talk about Maverick. We're gonna go down here to Maverick. Maverick has the ability of a blowtorch. He can blowtorch a hole in a reinforced wall that is electrified. Like he doesn't need Thatcher. He is a one-man breaching machine. But it takes a long time. Everybody knows it's coming because they can hear it. He can get shot through the holes that he's making. So it's tough. The best way to use Maverick is to bring smoke grenades. he can now dump a smoke grenade at the wall, Mav through the wall while he's got the smoke grenade up. But the problem is Maverick can't see the wall while he's got the smoke grenade up, while he's in the smoke. That's where Glaz comes in. You can use a Mav Glaz combo where you throw a smoke grenade at the wall, Mav a hole in the wall, back up, and let Glaz look through the smoke with his utility. That's what Glaz does. That's his utility. He can look through smoke and see a defender all lit up in yellow. And he can shoot that defender through a Mav hole on the other side of the wall. Nobody uses him like that, but that is a Glaz strat, and that's a good strat. Then, once the people are dead, once Glaz has covered Mav, Mav can cut the rest of the wall open, and then Glaz can switch to his secondary and push in using his frag grenades to clear people out of certain areas. Maverick can use his other smoke grenade to either give Glaz somewhere to shoot through or to cover his plant. And between the duo queue, you can actually win rounds, and lots of rounds with those two operators. But you have to use them together. Glaz can work with some duos and in some strat situations. Overall, he's not worth it. Fuse is another one of those operators that he's really good at lower levels and really easy to counter at higher levels. You can hear him set his cluster charge down on stuff so easily. What he does is he sets this cluster charge into a soft wall, a reinforced wall, a hatch, a floor, basically anywhere that is a soft surface that can be broken or a reinforced surface. He can set it off and it sends out pop, 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 like 5 pucks that are explosives, and they blow up. Most people use him at lower levels to try to get kills. That's not what you should be using Fuse for. Use him to clear utility, like barbed wire, Melusi Banshees, shields that are down beneath you. Like, you can go above the site, use Fuse to clear out utility, clear out Legion goo mines, clear out mute jammers, and then now you can drone the site clearly and see, okay, we're looking pretty good. Now you can plant, well, eventually with smoke and teamwork, breaching the wall, whatever else, and then you don't have to worry about clearing all that other utility out, Maestro cams, whatever else. So Fuse is great for clearing utility in the site if you can get above the site or around the site safely with the canister. But he is vulnerable when he's putting it down. I do recommend you definitely should try out playing Fuse. He's worth it. Also, take him into a custom game and watch the direction that the pucks go. They always go side to side and they go right to left. So if you can't remember that, take him into a custom game and try him out and see where they go, and then you'll know when you're placing the cluster charge. If you know the map well enough, you'll understand where it needs to go. As a new player, though, you probably won't know the map well enough, and I would say just avoid Fuse as a new player. As you get to know the maps better, Fuse is great. Blitz is fun. I just think Monty's better. Blitz is fun. He's got a shield that does not extend. That is his primary weapon, is his shield. But he can blind people when you're in proximity of them, about 10 meters or something like that. So you got to get up close, then you blind them, and then you can lower your shield and shoot people because they'll be blind. Really good Blitz players are really tough to counter. He's fun to play. IQ is pretty much worthless right now. Her ability is she pulls out her pistol, and on top of her pistol is a gadget like what Solas has. And she can see the defender's utility, like Solas can see the electronic utility of the attackers. She can ping it, but she can't destroy it. So what's the point? Like, you already know the bandit batteries are there. You can just put a drone in there and look to see where they're at. Why do you need IQ to tell you where they're at? You know they're on the floor. I don't really see much of a point with IQ right now. She needs a rework. Great guns. Great guns. All of them. All of her guns are great. Personally, I'm a big fan of the what is this gun? The G8A1. That is probably her best weapon. Really good gun. Boy, I really like the Commando, the 5.52 Commando too. Man, all of these guns are just great. But yeah, I'd go with the G8. LMG with 50 rounds and has 850 fire rate. I mean, can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Buck. Buck is great for vertical play in a 5-stack. Terrible for vertical play solo queued. Don't use Buck for vertical play solo queue. Use Buck for horizontal play. Now, what does he do? He has an underbarrel shotgun on his primary weapon. So he's got his primary weapon. Under the barrel is the skeleton key shotgun. He can take out barricades in 2 shots and then just run through them. He can take out soft walls in 2 shots, just and run through them or crouch through them. In fact, you can actually shoot 1 shot if you're at the right distance and then just crouch right through it. But look at the rest of his kit. Because you don't need a secondary weapon, because you can switch with your right bumper to his shotgun if you run out of ammo in your primary weapon, I would carry the Gong 6 as my secondary weapon. So if you run up against a shield or an Aruni gate or something that you can't clear, you just, like a Maestro cam, you pull out the Gong 6, shoot it, boom, it's dead. And then your 2 options are hard breach charges for hatches or flashbangs for aggressive entries. Really fun to play Buck. His recoil's a little tough, but once you get used to it, oh, he's fire. Blackbeard's useless. Don't play him at all. You might think that you're safe by putting Blackbeard's shield on him because he has a shield that sits on top of his gun. And you might think, oh, that's fantastic. It takes like 1 bullet and that shield is gone. Like that's all it eats up is basically 1 bullet, 2 bullets, I think. That's it. It is so easy for that shield to be broken. Here's the big problem. It sticks out on both sides. So when you peek around a corner, everybody sees the shield before you even see them. And they start pre-firing that shield before you even get your head out. They've broken the shield, and by the time your head actually swings, they're shooting you right in the nose. Worthless. Worthless operator. He used to be overpowered. He's worthless right now. His guns aren't even great. Capital shoots a firebolt that burns for 7 seconds. It's great to, like, after you planted the bomb, you can throw a firebolt on it and they won't be able to defuse the diffuser. So that's really fun because that'll be 7 seconds wasted and then another 7 seconds. You can get them off the diffuser if they're, you wait till they've hit the diffuser 3 times and then dump the fire on them. Or 2 times and then dump the fire on them. Because then they're like, I want to stick it, and then they die. It's great. So he can waste a lot of time at the end of rounds. Otherwise, he's actually kind of hard to play. You can switch between fire bolts and smoke bolts and shoot your smoke bolts, but when you shoot your crossbow, it's a crossbow that shoots these things. Why is it not showing his, there it is. It's a crossbow that shoots these things. When you shoot it, you're totally vulnerable. His guns are mid. This gun's probably the better of the two. But not a huge fan of Capitao. He's got good secondary utility for a reason. He's not the greatest of operators. So, I mean, he's great on paper, like Buck. But in solo queue, he just doesn't work very well. Now, in 5 stacks, oh yeah, he's real good. He is. He really is. Hibana is like Thermite. She can open up reinforced walls, but she can do it from distance by shooting these Hibana pellets or these X-Kairos at the wall, and then she can breach certain areas, and she can select how many she wants to shoot to vary the size of the hole. Don't think of her as a hard breacher. Think of her as a hatch breacher. So that's the way I like to think of Hibana. Her guns are amazing, but they have very little ammunition. Personally, I'd take Ace and Thermite for hard breaching over Hibana. And if I was going for hatches, I'd bring someone like Buck, you know, with the hard breach. But if I'm in a 5 stack and I feel confident that other people are going to take up the gun skill that's needed, I'll bring Hibana to get the hatches because she's better in a 5 stack. You might ask why, and the reason why is because with the rest of your team, you can be more like niche focused. Focus on your niche of getting the hatches open, and then the other team can do other jobs, their jobs in the 5 stack, that would prevent you from having to do like 2 or 3 different jobs. With Buck, I can do 2 or 3 different jobs in the same round and make up for my random teammates who can't like do the job that their operator is designed to do because they didn't pick the operator that supports me. So that's why I wouldn't necessarily pick Hibana a bunch in solo queue play. Jackal. What's the point in me talking about Jackal? He's always banned. He can scan your footprints and find where you're at. Let's move on. Ying. I mean, he's great. Play him if you can, but he's always banned, so what's the point? Ying. She throws these candelas in. They are mini flashbangs that shoot out flashbangs, like 5 of them, or doop, 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 like out into a spiral type of pattern, and it flashes other people in the area. Just think of her as having 4 flashbangs. Plus, she carries either 2 smoke grenades or a secondary hard breach, baby hard breach. So, should you play her? 100% yes. Bring her LMG, the T95, set that thing up with a suppressor, horizontal grip, it's got no recoil, put a laser on that thing, you can run either magnified or a 1.0 scope and just go shred the competition. She's so great. I love using her flashbangs. So many different ways to use them. You can use them to get plants down, you can use them for entry, fragging, really fun operator. Zofia has a gadget that does 2 things. One, it can breach stuff like Ash, but she can't destroy mirror windows. Like Ash can shoot a breach charge into a mirror window, and it drills in and breaks and shatters the window. It doesn't destroy it like you can shoot through it, but it shatters it. Zofia won't do that, but it can destroy like castle barricades, and you get 2 of those. Then she has 2 concussion grenades from the same launcher. She has to pull the launcher out. She's vulnerable just like Ash while she's shooting that launcher. But the concussion grenade will bounce into an area and it will explode immediately if a defender is in that area, making them dizzy and unable to like hear very well, and allowing you to get the advantage on them and swing them and kill them. Or go a different direction. If it doesn't explode immediately, there's a little bit of a time delay. Boom. Like, okay, well, there's nobody in that area, so I can run into that space and take that space. She's good. Her LMG right now is really, really good. It's got 150 bullets, and the recoil's manageable. If you can manage that recoil, it's worth it to bring Zofia again. She's back. Dokkaebi is a global operator, a high skill operator because she's got terrible guns. But she's great for the team. So if you're comfortable with letting other people do the killing, you can use Dokkaebi to ring people's phones. It goes zzz, 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 that tells people, gives people audio calls as to where the defenders are at. And then you can swing in with that information. She's a global operator because she rings everybody's phones at the same time. And no one can get on cams, not even the dead defenders, while she's ringing everybody's phones. Very strong to prevent people knowing when you pushed in the building. So you can ring phones, push past the default cam, and then when the ringer stops, everyone will think you haven't pushed past that default cam, but you've already moved into sight. Lion and Dokkaebi together, now that's just an unfair combo. Dokkaebi can ring the phones, and then after the phones stop ringing, Lion can do his EE1D scan. His Lion scan prevents people from running around and moving in the map without being seen, which is basically wall hacks, with red pings every time they're moving. So it kind of holds defenders in place, which is great to clear out roamers or to prevent people from flanking you quickly or to prevent people from swinging on you when you want to plant the diffuser. Or even after the plant to prevent people from moving to defuse the bomb. Finka is a great player to play as a new player to the game. She's another global operator. She gives a boost of a surge of adrenaline, which increases everybody's health slightly during the surge. And their health, if their health was lower than 100%, then it remains at the level that it was increased to. So it can pop people back up from being dead, and she can raise teammates who are downed but not out. So that's the good part about Finka. She's very team oriented, but you do have to be careful to watch the health of your team, just like you would with Doc on the defensive side, to protect and take care of your team. Listen for gunfights too. When you hear people getting into gunfights and you see their health start to drop, give them a surge of adrenaline. Maybe it gives them just enough to be able to win that gunfight, and that can help. It's the downside, it's very loud. It kind of prevents people from being able to hear what's going on around their area, so it can work against you actually. But she does have a great gun and a couple of great guns, and she brings grenades. So can't argue with that. She's great. We already talked about Maverick and what he can do with his blowtorch, cutting into walls that are reinforced. But the one thing that I really like using Maverick for is quiet entry. He can break through barricades very quietly. Someday I'll have to do a Maverick video and show you how to do that, but he's great to play. And his guns are really good. I run this guy right here, the M4. Nomad. Nomad is really a flank watch operator, but she can also be used to clear people out of tough to clear areas where you're having trouble winning the gunfight. She uses what's called an air jab launcher. It's it's under her barrel of her gun, so you have to switch to that, which makes you vulnerable when you shoot it. But the good part is that, you can usually use her in areas where people are not immediately peeking you. I mean, I don't know. Like a staircase, you want to put a flank watch on the staircase, or you want to put it on above a door that people could come and flank you at. Well, her air jab allows you to do that, and then when defenders walk in the proximity of the air jab and they have got line of sight on the air jab, it flings them even through a wall that's not reinforced. It'll fling them through walls, but it flings them to the ground, and they just lay there, and they have to get up from being on the ground to be able to run at shit. The air jab, boy, it doesn't show the air jab. That's dumb. All right, anyway. Are there operator guides? Yeah. When you're shooting it, there's this laser. So it shows you where you're located while you're shooting it, so be careful about that. And then once you put it on there, you see that area of effect appears. And then finally, when people hit it, it knocks them down just like that. Boom. Down on the ground. And then that gives you the ability to shoot them and kill them if you're in the area. It stuns them, basically. We're on to Gridlock. Gridlock's another operator that can be used for flank watch. She can also be used during plant situations. She chucks down these track stingers that when they expand, they take a little bit to expand around, but if you walk on them as a defender, it will hurt you. It will take damage away from you or take health away from you and eventually kill you. The air jabs won't kill you. They'll just knock you down. These tracks will. But you can just shoot them and then run past them as a defender. So, the good part is that she can give you audio cues as an attacker that, hey, they're shooting my tracks back here. That means that they're trying to flank. And now you can put someone watching the flank at that point on your team. Great guns. She has grenades. No complaints. You should play Gridlock if you're new to the game. Definitely. Nook. Her guns are mid. She has grenades. Her utilities, It can hide her from observation tools like cameras on the defender side. I think Dokube's just a better option. Amaru. It's sort of like Vigil. Think of her as Vigil on attack. That's the way you need to think of her. Amaru gives you a grappling hook that allows you to fly into windows. Don't play Amaru unless you have a higher skill, unless you're at a higher skill. Because what you'll end up doing is flying into windows and dying immediately. Because she makes a lot of noise when she comes in and people just turn their guns on her and shoot. But if you hear the grappling hook, coming into the window, and Amaru's coming in for you. And you've got to respond to that. A great operator to counter her, Frost. Frost is a great operator. Callie, she can shoot she's basically a sniper. Same thing I said about Glaz. I'm not a big Callie fan. I'm not a big sniper fan in this game. It's CQB for a reason. It's Siege. It's called Rainbow Six Siege because you're sieging an area. You're sieging a building. It's CQB. It's close quarter battle. This is not close quarter battle. It doesn't seem to be very worthwhile in this game. Her secondary is the best thing you can rely on, and it's very good, but her sniper rifle's not so great. Instead of having the ability that Glaz has, they gave her a one-shot down ability. So when you hit the operator in the chest, it downs them. and then gave her an explosive lance, which can be exploded through reinforced electrified walls to blow up bandit batteries and Cayde claws and stuff like that on the other side. Downside, Cayde can place his claws far enough away that the lance can't reach them. So if Cayde, not Cade, if Cayde is on the board, he is the counter to Callie. Don't bring Callie, bring Thatcher. Yana. She is an operator with infinite drones. They're just in the form of clones. They look just like her, but when you shoot them as a defender, they disappear. As Yana, you can go into your clone, run through an area, and you're on a timer. Once that timer runs out, your clone disappears and you're out of the clone. But you can see what's in that area before you actually go in there. It's just like droning the area. That's the great part about her, and she's got really good guns. I don't know what more to say. Personally, I love the G36C. The recoil pattern's a little funky, but once you get used to it, I use the compensator and the vertical grip. Once you get used to it, she's great. She's really great. Ace is the best hard breacher in the game. He can hard breach, well, I take that back. Maybe Thermite is, I'm not sure. He can hard breach from distance. He's easy to use. He can throw the Selmas, 2 Selmas to break a hatch, so don't use him for hatches. But he can throw 1 Selma, it gives him a vaultable hole. If you throw it low enough, you can crouch through it. The Selma charge is fantastic because you can breach the wall from a distance. I mean, he's a hard breacher. He's a hard breacher. That's the best way to put it. He can breach reinforced walls. There's nothing more to say. His gun is the best gun in the game, the AK-12. I think that's probably the best gun in the game. Zero shoots cameras. So he can use a launcher that shoots cameras that can go through reinforced walls, actually. They stick on the wall, then you push a button and it goes through to the other side and you can see the other side. Look for these little cameras. They'll glow and they'll look pointy like what it shows in the picture there on the right. They look kind of like that. Shoot those things as a defender, and you've countered 0. That's it. Flores is great for driving drones. If you like to drive drones and blow stuff up, then Flores is the guy for you. He's not really meta right now, but he is great for clearing out Azami barricades. He's great for clearing out or Kiba barriers. He's great for clearing out Melusi Banshees. He's great for clearing out barbed wire, any utility in the area. He can blow his drone up near it, and that'll clear the utility. Osa has a portable shield that is see-through. So you set it up like that. She can use the shield to push through certain areas. If she sets it up in a doorway, it expands, but she's vulnerable on both sides of the doorway when she's walking through doorways. Like, you can shoot her on both sides. If you shoot the little red thing at the bottom of the shield, it blows the shield up. If you melee the shield, it makes the shield shatter, so you can't see through it anymore. Crouch before you set the shield up, or you get shot in the head, because she'll stand up over the shield. She's got Thermite's gun, which is a fantastic gun, and she's got Jackal's, one of Jackal's guns, which is also fantastic, and she brings grenades. She is a great operator. The Impact EMP is a great choice as well if you wanted to combine her with Thermite in cases where Thatcher is banned. The Impact EMP doesn't have the range of Thatcher's EMP. It can only hit a smaller area, so you'll need to drone out where the Cayde Claw is before you throw that Impact EMP, and then you'll be able to, Cayde. you'll be able to clear the utility. It is timed just like Thatcher's EMP, so you better get that exo charge on the wall quick. Sense is useless. I don't even think we should talk about her. Basically, she rolls a smoke grenade that fires up smoke for a little while, a wall of smoke that an attacker or defender cannot see through. Glass can, so it's great combo with Glass. I really don't think Sense is someone that anybody should play right now. She's just, he, I don't know. I can't remember what the designation is. Not an operator that brings much value to the team. The guns are mid. Not someone I would play. Grim, more of a high skill operator. When you have that launcher out, you're extremely exposed. Grim shoots bees. They're electronic bees that tag enemies where, that are in the range of the bees. The downside is skilled players will say, I don't care if you know that I'm here. I'm in an advantage. I'm in a better position than you are. Go ahead, try to clear me out. And they'll just stay there while they're getting tagged. Unskilled players will get tagged, panic, and run away, and you'll be able to get a kill. So he's more good for just telling you where people are at, but you can do the same thing with a drone, so I'm not really sure he's the best. He does scare a lot of people, and people don't like to walk through the bees when the bees are there. And you can get away with some stuff when you do that. He is best in a 5-stack where someone is covering you. If you shoot the bees and somebody starts to walk through the bees, the person covering you can kill them. And he is good in that situation. Okay, Brava is the counter to Melusi, Aruni, Kapkan. Bring Brava, go take over the band. What Brava does is she has a drone, a Kledge drone, that can drive in and shoot a burst. It takes a little bit of time to take over an item, but she can take over electronic items that the defenders own. She can take over all the Melusi Banshees. So she gets 3 of these per drone, and she gets 2 drones. So 6 total items she could take over. She could take over all your Melusi Banshees with 1 drone and all your Aruni Gates with the other drone. And now they work against the defenders. So an attacker can walk right through an Aruni Gate and right through a Melusi Banshee without even activating it. But a defender gets close to an Aruni Gate, a Melusi Banshee, and they get the whoop whoop sound, and now they're in the disorientation. They walk through the Aruni Gate and they get damage to their health, and it hurts them for doing it. So the Kledge drones are fantastic counters to operators like that. And Kapkan, you can actually get a kill. That's fun. When you kill a defender, when you kill Kapkan with a Kapkan trap because of Brava, you've made it. But she's not very meta right now because the meta moves quickly, and people who play Brava, it usually takes them a long time to capture all the utility. So you better be good at 1v5 situations because you'll end up in a lot of them with Brava. Ram is a great operator for rushing because she can throw this boogie breacher right through barricades and then just run on in. But she's also good as a vertical operator because she can throw a boogie, activate it, and it starts shredding the whole ground. So the whole floor is just shredded up, and you'll hear it as it eats away at the floor. You can't destroy it by shooting it unless you get behind it and shoot the red canister that's its fuel. At least I guess it's its fuel. Or you can destroy it with an impact grenade by throwing an impact grenade at it. It's useful against some castle barricades too, to blow up castle barricades, but I think Sledge and Ash and Zofia are good castle counters too. Ram's got great guns, and she's a 3 armor, 1 speed. So if you're gonna run her guns, I mean, she's got great guns. Yeah, you're fine. Just whatever you want to pick for her is up to you. She's a great operator. But be careful. Once you destroy all that stuff, if you start peeking those vertical holes, the defenders may be able to kill you through them too. It's a two-way street, right? I mean, they can kill you through your holes as much as you can kill them. So just be careful. I use RAM for the sound because it's so loud. It'll cover my sound as I rotate around to areas that they didn't expect me to come from. And then I can get free kills from coming in quietly through areas that they thought they would hear me from. And the final operator in the Rainbow Six Siege is Damus. He has a death mark tracker that can track an individual person. You get a notification on your screen that you're being tracked by Damus. Your team gets a notification on their screen that you are being tracked by Damus by a circle on your head. Basically, it looks like a target on your head. And Damus can only hunt you down with his pistol while he is tracking you. He's great for clearing roamers. He's a very high skill player, but a lot of fun to play. I wouldn't recommend him to a new player, but you know, it's definitely something you want to experiment with after you're familiar enough with the game and you understand angles and how you can shoot people through soft walls and things like that, because his pistol is amazing at shooting through soft walls. Really good pistol. And he's got Nomad's gun, so it's not bad. And there you have it. That's every single operator in the game of Rainbow Six Siege. We did this in 112 minutes, so about an hour and about 2 hours, right? Coming up on 2 hours. That's every single operator in the game, attacker and defender, and hopefully that gives you an idea of how to play the game a little bit better or what to expect within the game, what each operator does. It's probably best to just get into Rainbow Six Siege right now and start playing these operators and seeing how they work and seeing what they do. Hopefully that helped. And if you like this type of content, leave a like and subscribe below and let me know. And I'll do more operator guides and videos for you if that's what you're looking for. Thanks very much for watching, and peace.